Amazon just began charging all sellers what's called a low inventory fee. If you are not aware of this, you could be charged thousands this year and not even realize it till it's too late. But just like anything on Amazon, there are ways to avoid and there are ways to make yourself an advantage seller so that other sellers who are unaware are getting charged higher than you, and therefore you have pricing power and a leg up on your competition. So we're gonna go through all of Amazon's new low inventory fee. It began on April 1st, 2024, but the fees for April are going to be reimbursed so that you can see the fee and then see how it's calculated and get the money back. But on May 1st is the real deal. So we're gonna go through it all, but first, please subscribe to our channel. Make sure you drop a like on this and give us a comment. We definitely are gonna make a lot more content. FBA University is getting more into YouTube right now. So if there's a topic, if there's a phase of the business you really wanna know about, drop a comment, definitely drop a like and subscribe, because we're gonna be upping this to monthly videos by the end of May. So let's go behind the curtain. Let's talk through all of Amazon's new 2024 low inventory fee. All right, so let's actually get into the nitty-gritty of how this is calculated, what goes into it, and really what you need to know, what you need to avoid to not get hit with higher Amazon fees, to not change the overall margin of your business, right? Because we never want to get surprised, and that does happen every now and then, when Amazon changes fees, introduces a fee, and we haven't really taken it into account. We're basing our margin on something in the past. We haven't really evolved for this. And so this, just right off the get-go, it's avoidable, and there's a lot of ways to not get charged. So we're going to go through, I'm not going to drown this out and get too detailed, because you'll have access to both your 28-day and your 90-day historical days of supply in your FBA inventory, but just some key things to know. So first off, it was scheduled to go into effect April 1st. There's a lot of backlash in the Amazon seller community. A lot of people are not necessarily, they're just not really sure how it's going to affect them. The overall intention, usually Amazon comes out with a fee and everyone understands how it works and kind of how to avoid or why they're doing it. This is difficult because there is a long-term storage fee at 180 days or greater if your inventory is there. But now there's a fee on the other end if you don't have enough inventory. So sellers, a lot of backlash, a lot of angry people, of course. And if you are an Amazon seller, your feedback matters. So if you are pissed, let them know, because Amazon is an amazing platform, but their seller support is a slap in the face. So, give it to them if you need to. All right. Anyway, all that to say, it was supposed to it went into effect April 1st, but because of all the backlash, they are reimbursing the April fee. But they're charging the April fees and then reimbursing. And that's actually helpful because you get to see what fees you would be charged, and then obviously you get the money back. But in May, supposedly, it's early April right now, they are saying they're going to roll out with this and no longer reimburse. So the first thing is basically the low inventory fee is Amazon's charging you if you have less than 28 days of inventory. That inventory calculation is based on your 30-day and your 90-day average. So as of, let's say, April 1st, it's the greater of. So you get the benefit. They're trying to work with you a little bit there, and it's the better number for a seller on 30 days versus 90. But what they are charging on it's simple. So if it's April 1st that we're talking about when the fee is calculated, it would be the last 30 days, so March 2nd through March 31st, and then basically the first quarter of the year, because that's 90 days. The one other important thing to note, it is not charged until, all right, so whatever inventory is in your balance that is deemed below 28 days. So say you have 16 units, your historical average, it comes to 50. So you're going to be charged on all 16 of those units, but not until they're shipped to the customer. So when they are shipped to the customer, as this says, you will be charged, depending on how low into the historical supply you are, somewhere between 32 cents and $1.11. And so if
if you have 5 units, and this again, it's kind of ridiculous, but the lower you are, the more each unit will be charged. So what Amazon's really trying to do is make sellers commit to being in the game, right? Because you just have 3 units, you're getting a higher charge. Obviously, it's not that big a deal, but it's just something, the lower you are, the more in the red, aka the more inventory below 28 days, below 21, below 14, the higher the rates. Another thing I want to point out, this is only charged for some reason on standard size. So anything small oversized, large oversized, it's not charged. It's just not including those. I'm not really sure why, because that would seem to actually be a worse problem for Amazon if they are essentially trying. The whole point of this fee too is Amazon saying, and it makes sense in one regard, which is if you send 20 units to Amazon, say you're sending them to Newport near LA in California. Amazon, in order to show up Prime, because you're using FBA shipping, Amazon's going to disperse those 20 units across the country to all their fulfillment centers so that someone in Boston, someone in Miami can also see the 2-day Prime without having to overnight the units from Newport, right? So they are trying to make sure that their logistics doesn't ever have to cover the cost, the customer experience of 2-day shipping. So that's why they're doing. One other thing just to keep in mind, if you have no inventory for a product, you won't be charged. It's only the inventory that is there and under the historical supply. But going all the way back, like if their issue is having to ship between their own fulfillment centers, you would think oversized units would be even worse. Don't know why that's left off, but it is what it is. And so, yeah, so this just goes through. You should definitely check this out. I'll have this linked below the video, the low level inventory fee, and this just runs through exactly how it's charged. It's confusing, but let's get into the metrics a little bit. So here's both the 90-day and 30-day for just an example they give. This one has 243 units, or average 243.6. They sell 5.8 a day. And so simple math there over 5.8, that's 42. So they're saying your historical days of supply based on the last 90 days is 42. That makes sense. The last 30 days, the last month, essentially 220.5 over 12.6, 70.5. So at this point, the historical days of supply will be 42. And so that's kind of the difference. In theory, they're trying to give you a quicker chance. If it was just 90 days, it would be harder to correct it, right? And so one thing you definitely want to keep in mind is it makes more sense than ever if you ship from overseas, which most of us do. I do on just about every product. You're going to want to have some stock onshore. You're going to want to have some stock at a 3PL, or, I mean, more than likely, you just have it in your garage, have it in your closet, depending on the size of your product. Have 100 units or so just ready to go. And that's always a good idea, but there's a cost incentive. And so this just goes through. You should definitely check this out, how it'll be charged. It's difficult because there's seasonal products, right? And so they haven't taken this into account yet, because if you only sell calendars and you only stock up in December, well, yeah, you won't be charged if you're out of stock, but then is the calculation going to get thrown off right when you send inventory in, because or when you have it in January, right? That's a better example. After you have hundreds or thousands in November and December, and then all of a sudden in January, you're not going to restock. So you're going to be charged when that 30 and 90-day rolling average are well above the inventory you have. We'll see. And so because of the backlash as well, they came out with this a while ago, and then they clarified this more recently. And one thing that's helpful is this was already there, but they just made it apparent. In your FBA inventory, you are going to see this new metric, the historical days of supply, and it's based on the ASIN. So that's one thing to keep in mind as well. If you have variations, it's the overall parent. And so I think that should be easier, because all of a sudden if one of your lower selling variations is just you're not going to restock, well, then you don't have to necessarily get hit while you're waiting for it to sell through, because you have sufficient inventory in the other two. And so they go through kind of how it's calculated again, where everything is. Really, they don't do a great job of saying how can I minimize it. Really, the way to minimize it is have the right inventory. So how can you avoid this? other than having onshore inventory, you want to be much more cognizant, if you weren't already, on tracking inventory, on tightening up your lead times, on actually knowing your lead times, using a consistent freight forwarder. We have freight forwarders through our FBA University network. You want to be consistent as possible. You really want to tighten up your lead time, and you may even have to tell your manufacturer, hey, listen, I need to know based on 500, 1,000, 2,000, 10,000 units what it's going to take, and you need to be able to be held to this going forward. Usually suppliers, they do it as fast as they can, and that's about it. So you're really going to have to communicate with them and let them know that, hey, if you want me to be a customer long term, you need to be consistent with your lead times, with how long it takes to produce, and then giving it off to the shipper in a very similar time frame, so I can systemize this and not be charged an extra 50 cents dollar on units all the time. That is the low inventory fee. There's a great breakdown on marketplace prep, and so I'll link this as well. This really goes through with a little more calculation, some pictures, because this is dense material. And so check this out. Just look at your balances during April, and no, this is very avoidable. I think Amazon's going to revise this at worst and maybe get rid of it best, but you got to be prepared. You got to know what the rules are. Amazon presents the most amazing opportunity to organically scale an e-commerce business, and really even going back to traditional business. When else could you? I started with 4,400. That first product is still selling over 4 years later, and it's done, probably 7 figures in sales, just that product, or very close. This is this amazing opportunity, and yeah, people get pissed about things like this. When Amazon, it's not a democracy, right? They tell you something and boom, you got to react. But no, this is part of the game. The good sellers adapt, find ways to even save more costs, and really just don't get so, keep your attitude high and know this is an amazing opportunity still. If you are interested in getting a little more hands-on coaching, we run a 12-month Amazon Accelerator program. It's called the Amazon Accelerator 2.0. We literally handhold you to however much you want through 12 months. And our program's a lot different than most. We offer unlimited one-to-one calls with myself and Ryan, my co-founder, and we have a private Slack. We offer really just like a 14+ hour playbook. We have discounts on photography, freight forwarding companies. We have what's called the FBA University Vault, where just about every SOP, every template you could need, you can really build and scale an e-commerce business, an Amazon private label business within our program. So if you are interested, book a call. There's a link in the show notes. We take on a limited amount of students every month. I've had some wild success the past couple months, people doing 6 figures within their first 7-8 months of selling. So if you know it's your time and want a little guidance, don't want to take as big a risk, waste as much time, waste thousands of dollars, book a call. We will be back to really go through anything that changes, probably give an update on this shortly. Subscribe, drop a like, drop a comment if you are looking to hear about something specifically. We'll see you on the next video.